Records are special type of class that has been introduced in Java version 14 and it minimizes a lot of boilerplate code. To understand record, let's go and create a simple Java class called car, and this car class it hold the data from different data source, maybe from database or from any other source. And let's go and create some attributes in this car class, and the first attribute will be name and the second will be private string color, and we will make these attributes final, so once it is initialized no one can change it. And again, now let's generate some constructor. So I will generate all argument constructor. Also we will generate some getters for these attributes. And now let's generate some other methods like equals and hash code. So this equal method will be used to compare the object on the basis of data, and this hash code method will return the hash of the object. And again, now let's generate another method called toString. So this will print the object in a string. And now let's go in our main class and we will create an object for this class, and we will say car and BMW, and I will say the name of this car will be BMW M5 and the color will be red, right? Now let's print this object in our console. So I will say system.out.println and pass the BMW, and now let's execute our code. So as you can see, we have a car object named BMW M5 and the color is red. So now if we go in our car class and if we see, we have write around 42 line of code for only two attributes, right? And this can be done only in single line of code with the help of record. And I will create a record from here. So I will select record and I will name it as a car record. And so this is our record and it has been recognized by the keyword called record. And here we will pass the argument called string name and string color. And this single line of code is equivalent to the 42 line of code which we have done in a car class. So now let's go in our main class and I will comment this section and I will create a object for record and I will say car record, and here I will pass BMW and here I will say car record and we will say BMW M6. Now the name is M6 this time and the color is yellow. And I will do system.out.println and pass BMW, and now let's execute our code. So we are printing our car record and the name is BMW M6 and the color is yellow. And now if I want to print only the name attribute of this object, so I can call it bmw.name and it will give me the name attribute. And now if I want to print the bmw.color, so it will print the color of the object, right? So all the methods which we mentioned in a car class is automatically provided by record behind the scene. Like we have bmw.hashcode and bmw.equal to compare any object, or bmw.toString, right? So this is about record. And now let's go in our car record and here we will add some comments about record features. So the first thing, that record can have static fields, record can have static methods, record can have instance methods, record cannot have instance fields, attributes of records are final by default, record can have canonical constructor. It can also have compact constructor. Let me make the spelling correct. Okay, record can not extend, record can implement. So these are the some points about records, and we will look these points one by one by implementation. So the first point is record can have static fields, and I will create a one static field called public static string engine type, and the value is petrol engine. And now if I go in our main class, and here I will say system.out.println, and I will call the static field by the reference of the class, and I will say car record.engine type. So and I will execute the code. So if you see, it print the petrol. And now let's go and discuss about the second point, which is record can have static methods, and I will create one static method here called public static void, and it will print something, and I will say system.out.println, and I will say print xyz or anything. And now let's go in our main class, and here I will call this method. So I will, this is a static method, I will call it from the reference of the class, and here I will say car record.print, and I will execute the code. So as you can see, print.xyz, it's printing, right? Now the third point is record can have instance method, and here I will create one instance method. I will say public, and this will be void, and the name is make noise, and here I will pass the, okay, we will not pass anything, but we will print system.out.println, and I will call the name of the object, and here I will append the noise of the car, which is vroom, right? And now let's go in our main class, and here I will call, I will say BMW, and I will call the make noise method, and now I will execute the code. So it is saying BMW M5 room, right? And the another point is record cannot have instance field, so we will create one instance field called public string build type, and if we look, it gives me the error, and the error is saying instance field is not allowed in record, so record does not support instance fields. We will comment this thing. This another point is records, attributes of records are final by default, so these values, these are final by default, so once it is initialized we cannot change. So for this I will create a method here called public, and this will be void type method, and it will, I will say repaint, so we will change the color of the object, and we will have a parameter called updated color, and this updated color will be assigned to this dot color, and I will say equal to updated color. And now if you see, it gives me the error that cannot assign a value to a final variable color. So these attributes, these are final by default, so we, once it is initialized, we cannot change them. Okay, so I will comment this method also here. And now the another point, we have record can have canonical constructor, so I will create a constructor here, and I will say public, and I will say car, yeah, car record, and this will take two arguments called name and string dot color, and we will assign these parameters to the arguments of the class, and we will do it like this dot name equal to name, and this dot color equal to color. So this is the constructor we have, and the purpose of this type constructor is that we can do some kind of operation at the time of initialization of the object. And for example, if I want to do some kind of validation here at the time of initialization, for example, I will say this, I will say name, if name dot contains m5 word, then it should throw exception, and this exception will be illegal argument exception. I will say m5 is not allowed in name, right? So if we have m5 word in a name at the time of initialization, then it will throw the exception. So now let's go in our main class, and now I will run the code, and it throw the exception that m5 is not allowed in name, because we are passing m5 in the names. And if I change m5 to m6, then this will be executed successfully. So any kind of operation you want to do in the at the time of object initialization, you can do it in a canonical constructor. Okay, and now if I remove this our parameters from the constructor, right, and I will remove this one also, this, so this is a compact constructor. So the purpose of compact constructor is same like before, like if you want to do any kind of validation or any kind of operation at the time of initialization, you can use them. So for example, now I will change it back to m5, and here m5 is not allowed in a name, and when I will execute the code, it will throw the exception like m5 is not allowed. And now let's change it back to m6, BMW m6, and it will execute it successfully. The next point we have record cannot extend. So if we want to extend some another from some parent class, right, so these are not supported in record. So it says no extends class allowed for record, so it is not supported. But record can implement. So if I want to implement some interface like implements dot runnable, so it is supported in a record. So we have some like this in run method. If we want to do some kind of operation, we can write our own code here. So this is all about records, and if you have any question, you can comment in the comment section, and kindly subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon. See you in the next video.